You could call me a poet, but that's not all I am. I'll sing you a song with a big bad band. I'll give you brain tingles and twitchy fingers while the questions bloom out my mouth. I'll teach while I learn about this lion city where I come from. It's always new to me. Art has been around for as long as humans have, and there are many reasons we make it. For entertainment, for stress relief, to boost our self-confidence, and even for social change. We use art to make sense of the world, to engage and connect with it. Whether it's tripping the light fantastic flamenco style, to finding out how an art festival comes together,
We can actually use art to reach out to the community.
or watching an internationally acclaimed sand artist in full flow.
To create something more beautiful, you have to destroy something else.
Yeah. I want to shine a light on the everyman Singaporean
Mark making is the most primal form of expression.
who participates in arts and culture within the heartlands and beyond. What better way to connect with the world than through one of the most ancient art forms, dance? I am about to meet two Singaporeans who are on a very special journey. Clarence and Kathleen are part of a group of seniors learning flamenco, where the average age is 65. Clarence is partially sighted, but that hasn't stopped him from learning a new way to move.
With my disability, unlike others, mine is actually visual impairment. So I can't really see what other people are doing. So I have to listen, ask questions, seek help, come back home, practice as much as possible. I think the dance is sexy, sensual, emotional, and passionate, all in one. Especially when you enjoy it, you're giving support, you shout, "Ole, Asa, Toma," to give support to the dancers.
Kathleen, why did you decide to join the project?
I decided to join the project because I want to grow old gracefully and I want to be active in my daily life. After this performance, I think I will continue with the flamenco. It's good to learn more.
Clarence and Kathleen are involved in a community art project called Chronicles of Life for the 2019 Silver Arts Festival. The campaign celebrates seniors and creative aging through the arts. The Silver Generation group performs with professional dancers like instructor Daphne Huang. With 14 years of experience under her belt, she started leading them 5 months ago.
It's not really about making technical footwork and stamping your feet very hard and doing something 100 miles per hour. Flamenco has more to that. The women seem to be very strong by themselves, like maybe because they find strength in the art form and they can express that through it. And I think the seniors really, really gave their heart out. They really, really tried their best. And I feel that they're really passionate in wanting to learn and wanting to embrace this art form.
This group of 21 seniors will make its debut at the annual Silver Arts Festival. The upcoming performance the group is preparing for is in 8 weeks, and we'll be keeping an eye on them the whole time. From the art of dance to art of a very different kind, usually found in the back alleys of our city-state. You might have photographed this street art masterpiece behind me, but do you know the Monet who made it? He goes by the moniker Zero. Zul Othman is the only street artist who was a recipient of the National Arts Council's Young Artist Award in 2013. A maverick of street art since 2003, he's also one of the founding members of Artivists, the pioneers of street art and graphic influence graffiti. The Artivists Collective paved the way for the growth of street art in the early to mid-2000s.
Welcome to the Rascal Studio. We have very dirty fans. Yeah. Art should be accessible to everyone, not just in gallery spaces where it feels very formal. You have to pay to get into a museum and look at art.
Why is it important for Made in Singapore art to exist?
You know, I can speak Chinese. I grew up watching Bollywood, Hollywood. That's why I painted Rajinikanth at Hindu Road, you know. And to me, that's who we are as Singaporeans. I grew up with a lot of influences and I try to bring all those influences into my artwork. And I think a lot of Singaporean artists also are trying to do that. I cannot be just pegged as just a Chinese Singaporean artist or an Indian Singaporean artist or a Malay Singaporean artist, but first and foremost, especially as a younger generation, I am Singaporean first.
Zero held his first solo show, The Spectacular Spectacular, in 2010. Then, it was acquired by the Singapore Art Museum for their permanent collection. The piece he is proudest of is Working Class Hero, where he pays homage to the famous Tamil film star Rajinikanth, his idol. He has painted hundreds of murals across the island.
As an artist, I'm hardly focused on myself, but I'm always focusing on what my community needs, the community of artists that surrounds me. It's my collective, my apprentice, the community of graffiti and street artists in this neighborhood or in Singapore. That's why my logo is the inverted crown. In the street lingo of graffiti painting, you have people paint halos on top of their text. You can see some crowns to proclaim themselves as king of the streets. But I choose to have the inverted crown, you know, so the sharp ends will point to your own head. Because I believe there's no such thing as kings, you know, as slave to something.
This is like your safe
Yeah.
community space.
Yes, it's an open studio.
Yeah.
So.
Time to get the spray out. So I'm gonna try put some bubbles in there.
And this distance is key. See?
Okay, so what distance are we talking? Where should I go?
So if you're looking at something which is a bit further, I think
Yeah.
the furthest you can go is about 15 cm, that's it.
Okay.
So but if you want to get anything cleaner, like this, you gotta get really close. See, so your
Yeah.
lines are clean. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, whoa. Okay, that kind of works.
There's like a fat cap. You can like fill in like fast. Comes like.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of paint at one time.
Yeah. And it covers like you can do like filling up faster.
So it's a lot about like pressure and yeah, I guess the distance. It's about feeling, right?
Yeah, it's about your feels.
Graffiti and street art started as a rebellious act. But today I realized, yes, it's about resistance, but it's also about things like community and shared ownership.
They bring the kampung spirit back again. That is what's so good about these projects.
In 15 days, Clarence, Kathleen and the gang have an important performance at the National Library. Let's see how their rehearsals are going. Okay, Clarence, how is your flamenco progress going so far?
I have improved tremendously. Probably I have put up another 30% more from the last time you've seen me. I felt more confident and I'm able to relate to the moods and the sequence of the dance more than before.
Are you stressed out at all about the final performance?
Art is a form of relaxation, not stress. I'm looking forward to that challenge.
When we consider art or artistic endeavors, we usually only think about the artist or the final product. But do you know how many mountains need to be moved to make an event happen? Or what really goes on behind the scenes? Well, I'm about to peek into the life of a full-time event organizer. Li Wei Tiang heads the organizing team responsible for the Let's Paint Together art initiative, launched by the People's Association Passion Arts brand. Their objective? To make art accessible to everyone. He works closely with a group of artist facilitators and volunteers to make sure each event runs smoothly.
All of us have fear in painting, even to hold a brush. So what we do is that we're getting pictures and designs that is easy, but yet is impactful and interesting. And thereafter, the artist will guide them in the basic steps. So even people who have no experience in painting at all can join us.
Wow, makes me want to join. The goal is to get families and different generations to learn how to make art together.
For the next 18 months, we have about 100 sessions. And throughout these 100 sessions, we hope to engage about 5,000 young families.
That sounds like a lot of painting.
The Community Arts and Culture clubs from Jurong GRC will set a Singapore Book of Records of the longest lines of painting held by the painters. The painting session will be about 3 hours, and after these 3 hours, they will all form up with the longest line and ready for the Book of Record.
The Let's Paint Together project is just one of many activities that happens at the Passion Arts Festival. Held annually, the artistic event holds 500 initiatives island-wide. The festival has 38 villages, from Admiralty to Pasir Ris, bridging more than 250,000 residents across our little red dot. But the giant painting festival wouldn't be a success without its resident artist facilitators like Zul and Amrutha. They conceptualize installations and work closely with the different families in neighborhoods to bring them to life. Families like the Rajas.
We teach them through the stories, we teach them through the art that they're doing. The community is important because we are the community. We can actually use art to reach out to the community. I found out that even the youngest child and even the oldest person, we cannot speak sometimes the same language. But when we do the art together, that is our language. That's how we communicate each other.
They bring in not only their friends or family, they bring in their neighbors and they make friends.
It's like we are all in this, we care for each other, we work together.
And they bring the kampung spirit back again. So that is what's so good about these projects.
But today, in fact, come together as a family, okay, to paint a common picture here.
At the other end of Singapore, Wei Tiang is attempting something radical for the Let's Paint Together initiative. What has the whole of today been like for you?
Wow, it has been a very tiring day, but yeah, it's exciting and fulfilling. All the young families come together and enjoy the whole process. As you can see right behind, they are forming up to break the Singapore Book of Records. So as of last count, we have at least 135 paintings joining, which means 135 families with us today.
That's amazing. That's like a massive number.
I wanted to try something new, and I know my little girl wants to try painting, so I thought, why not?
And what did you learn over the process?
Oh wow, a little bit of art skills, and just having a fun family time.
A very big welcome again to Silver Arts 2019. Put our hands together for Life Chronicles, the dance of the aging body.
Clarence, Kathleen, and the rest of the flamenco dancers are preparing for their debut at the Silver Arts Festival. Time for some last-minute fine-tuning of their dance moves. Artistic self-expression can take many forms. Sometimes, by combining the simplest and most easily available materials with illustrations, the most beautiful storyscapes can be created. In London, she was inspired by some street buskers doing sand art. In 2010, she went for it, following in their footsteps. Today, Stacey Lee is an acclaimed sand artist, performing internationally in places like Australia, Japan, and Germany. I can't wait to find out what she makes. At college, Stacey majored in media arts. She soon discovered she had a flair for painting, animation, and illustration. In 2009, she started her first job as a visual arts course trainer. She convinced her boss then to give her a chance to do her first sand art piece for a televised awards ceremony. And the rest, as they say, is history.
So I always feel that this art form needs a bit of comic storytelling format. And then you work it like a video, how you actually want the story to flow. And then the rest is really going through the motion of morphing one image in another and then practicing and practicing it. Then you have to do music. You have to find the correct tunes to actually make sure that the whole entire presentation is enhanced.
Sand art is transient. One swipe, and a fresh slate emerges, just in time for a brand new story.
When we were performing, sometimes you draw a really nice picture and then you have to move on to something else. People will give that reaction like, oh, why do you destroy this? But it has to happen. There's actually a saying that sometimes to create something more beautiful, you have to destroy something else.
How has being from Singapore impacted the work that you're making?
As a Singaporean, we have been exposed to different cultures and that actually makes us more like a sponge. We are very diverse. We're like chameleons. We can adapt, and that's actually a good point. When I do work overseas or when I do performances, I just want to show them what Singaporean is like. We're going to talk about whales, because I love whales.
Me too.
Yeah. One of the first things we're going to start to draw is the sea. This is what I call wave, or waving. Under the sea, you have all the seabed, some of these nice little rocks, corals, stones, a bit of seaweed, maybe, and a bit of layer. So with a swish of the hand.
And here's the transience of sand art.
Because we're above sea, so the waves are more narrow. We have our big friend here.
Oh, it's a whale.
And it's written water. Poof. Yep, so a simple picture like this, moving from one into another.
Yeah, it's amazing how it just flows into the next one. So fluid. So Stacey has shown me today just a fraction of what it takes to be a sand artist. And it's been so inspiring because she's really made this for herself. And what she's shown me is that if there's a will, there's a way. Through snow, through wind, and through sand. The flamenco dancers are about to perform for the very first time in front of their family, friends, and the public. This special performance is part of the Silver Arts Festival, an annual event that celebrates creative aging through the arts. So I'm with Clarence and Kathleen, and they're about to go on stage. So, how do you feel right now?
Ready to go. Ever ready, because I believe we are very well prepared and the teachers are proud of us.
Excellent. Do you have any butterflies in your stomach?
No, they've all flown away.
A very big welcome again to Silver Arts 2019. So ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Live Chronicles, the dance of the aging body.
Okay, how do you feel about the final performance now that you're done with it? Are you happy?
Yes, I'm very happy and relieved. We felt very much achievement, learn a new dance, make new friends.
And we reach out to each other with due diligence. Everyone actually put in enough effort to impress the teacher to bring us to the next stage.
The next level.
Yes.
You're all next level flamenco dancers now.
Yes.
So it's been a crazy ride watching the seniors learn how to flamenco. I've seen them transform into flamenco dancers. And you know what they showed me? Anybody can learn how to do art. And you don't have to be young to be funky. There's no universal method to making art. Even in Singapore, everyone has to find their own way. Zul and Amrutha, Clarence and Kathleen, Zero, Stacy and Wei Chiang have definitely found theirs. And what they've shown me is that art has space for everyone. And anyone can make space for art. They just have to do it.